Everybody is afraid of something. Each and every person has that one thing that you probably just really can't stand and would prefer to stay away from. It's called fear. And it's a natural reaction that your brain does to make yourself harm. It's something that everybody has, and most of the time it is something that's rational that you're afraid of. The trigger can be very common and might actually pose an actual threat. Most common fears are fear of flying, fear of public speaking, fear of heights, and fear of the dark. Now, phobia is when it becomes a much more of a problem. You feel that the thing that's going to cause you harm is so extreme that you want to cause it fear back to harm. The triggers are most of the time irrational. It can pose little to no danger, and the triggers aren't that common. Most of the time, you are born with a fear. You learn how to fear something. A phobia is something that normally happens because of a personal trauma or a backstory or just a terrible experience that not many other people will have. And according to psychology.com, there are 4 major types of phobias. Environmental, like thunder and lightning; animal, like snakes and spiders; medical, like needles and blood; and situational, like crossing a bridge; superstitious, things like that. And according to a newspaper source off of EBSCO host, 1 in 12 people suffer from phobias, which is roughly 19.2 million American adults. Now, if you have a phobia, one of the things that you'll feel when you're experiencing that trigger is breathlessness, dizziness, and a sense of unreality and nausea. And according to phobias.com, the most common phobias are claustrophobia, which is fear of enclosed spaces. You're scared of suffocating, of being crushed. You feel like the spaces are always coming in around you. Ophidiophobia, which is fear of snakes. Many of you probably noticed and probably just didn't know what it was called. And trypanophobia, which is fear of needles, like just fear of the prick. You really can't see it. It seems bigger than what it normally is when we look at it. Now, I'm here to talk about some uncommon ones that many people have not heard of and may have, they just don't know about it. Nomophobia, fear of losing a cell phone or cell signal. Now, a lot of us are connected at the hip, basically, with our cell phones. And so it might be hard to tell whether or not it's an actual phobia that you might lose your phone or not be able to contact anybody. And I was surprised about this one because I never knew it was that big of a problem to be diagnosed as a phobia. Okay, now this next one is a little bit graphic, so I can't stress this enough. If you are faint of heart and really just feel like you can't take a lot of those things, I suggest looking away until I take a look back. And look at it at your own risk, because when I look at it, I get shivers.
You talking right?
What is it?
Trypophobia, fear of holes.
Oh my God. That's me.
Now,
Oh, God.
CBS News, there's a debate about this one. Some people say it's a fear of patterns. Some people say it's just a fear of there not being something, but there should be something.
Hey, I was just gonna ask.
Many people with this phobia fear that there's something that's going to come out of these holes and come at them, or that the holes are going to expand and swallow them up. And then some people are just really uncomfortable with where the holes are and how it looks. They don't know what it is about it. It's just really uncomfortable.
Oh, my God.
Now, the one on the left is fake. That's just like one of the trypophobia tests. And the skulls actually on the right were real. That is actually the skull of a toddler when they still have all their baby teeth. So that exists. But as you can see, it's still creepy. Totally. And the last one, not that bad, fear of .net. Hippopotamostrophobia. And then I really want you guys to feedback. What do you think that is a fear of? Like it's extremely ironic.
Big word?
Yes. That is the fear of big words. So even if you have it, you can't even tell anybody because you can't look at, spell, or be asked to say that word. Hippopotamostrophobia.
You have to look that up to learn? I'm sorry.
No, it's just really fun. And with this one, yeah, people with this fear, first of all, can't be asked to spell, say that. And what they do is they try to avoid large words when they're reading. Chances are this started off of when they were kids and they were asked to read in front of their classes and say they weren't a good reader and it caused a bunch of scrutiny, maybe some bullying here and there. This is what normally triggers that. And basically, in conclusion, this especially with the uncommon ones, it shows that there are a lot of people who have problems that we're not really familiar with, that we don't find common, and we can't explain it, and sometimes neither can they. But the fact that, you know, these phobias have names, it shows that they are legitimate fears. You know, they're valid, they trigger very serious, very severe responses, and it just shows that a lot of people go through things that we may not understand. And even though they're phobias, some of these can be cured, and one method is called flooding, and that's when they'll like take you in a room or something like that and just bombard you with the triggers, like encase you in the dark, or let in a bunch of harmless snakes, just to try and show you that there's no problem. You know, they're trying to show you that it's not going to hurt you, you'll be fine, you know, and try and coax you out of that. If that doesn't work, they try something called counter conditioning. And what they do is they'll introduce your trigger to you in a small dose, and they'll try to modify how you react to it. So like they'll have you do a personal mantra, like that OM stuff, or they'll teach you to like practice some breathing, something a lot less more destructive than like swinging at it, per se. And, most of the times flooding works. If not, that's a more alternative method to last more, to give you more long-term